very easy to calculate. For example, you got 1 million and you found only 2 product actually um uh, I mean errors, then you got 2 divided by a million, right? So this is defects per unit. So in terms of Six Sigma, if the main purpose of Six Sigma is if you produce a million, you found only 6 product defect or errors, is a nothing, right? So 6 over a million. So this is what we call Six Sigma. So you found 6 problem in a million product you produce. So this is what we call Six Sigma. Okay. In service application, the term error per million opportunities, this is what we call EPMO, errors per million opportunity is used. Okay, so Six Sigma implementation, Six Sigma, we have a different types of steps, right? DPMO, EPMO. So have a look here. Creating highly qualified process improvement expert, ensuring that appropriate metric that identified early in the process and that focus on business results, and then setting stretch objective for improvement. This is very important, everyone, if you want to do research, especially you do undergrad or you want to work in in a quality division in a company, you need to understand the process of the Six Sigma, which is DMAIC. D is the first D is the define. You need to identify your customers and what their priorities. Then you need to identify suitable project, any critical to quality characteristic you want to identify. And then M, the second letter is measure. Measure, determine how to measure process, how it is performing, like Honda in the video presentation. Identify key internal processes that influence critical to quality characteristic. And then you measure current defects, right? So this is about measurement. And then A, the third letter is A, is analyze. After you measure, you need to analyze them. Determine likely causes of defect. Understanding why defects are generated by identifying the key variables that cause process variation. And for the fourth letter, this is what we call I, which is improve. Identify means to remove the causes of defect. Confirm key variables and quantify the effect on critical, you can see critical to quality, right? CTQs. And then the last, which is what we call C, is control. Determine how to maintain the improvement. Put tools in place to ensure that the key variable remain within acceptable range under the modified process. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so under quality control, which is what we call QC, there are 7 tools. I think everybody knows 7 tools. If you learn statistics, you know flow chart, right? So you know flow diagram with the boxes, arrows, triangle. That's a flow chart. Identify the sequence of activities. And control chart or run chart is a line graph with data plotted over time. So control chart, you got upper and lower control limits. So I'm sorry, because for the 7 quality control tools, usually I run the workshop, yeah, in Bularasati. The workshop usually 1 or 2 days. I remember many years ago to go through with the quality control tools, with the statistic, with the Excel, etc. It's gonna be take 1 full 2 days. But today is a introduction. I just go through the tool under quality management tools, right? So we can, work it out in the next workshop, right? If we have time in the future. The third tool, what we call checklist. data collection form where the results are interpreted directly on the form without additional processing. So checklists are very important. So for example, you do today what things to do. You make a checklist. If you have a production manager, you can see how many product defect, how many product errors. If you are quality manager in the hotel, how many customer complaints. So you can do each daily checklist. 2 Monday, 3 Tuesday, 4 Thursday, 0 on Friday, for example. So that's a checklist, right? And then histogram, if you learn statistics, is a graphical represent the frequency of value within specified group. Pareto. Has been found by Firedo Pareto. Firedo Pareto is separate the vital few from the trivial many causes, provide direction for selecting project for improvement. So Pareto, the purpose is to select the main priority. For example, if you got 100 and the second one you got 80, the third one you got 20. So of course you need to work very hard how you reduce 100 to make lower value, for example. So then this the first Pareto diagram can look at, selecting priorities project for the improvement. The next one, cause and effect. This is what we call fishbone. Why we call fishbone? Because the diagram looks like fishbone. If you eat fish, you take out the meat and you can see the bones, right? So fishbone, you can see towards the end, the head is the causes and the bones, what causes. Okay, sorry, the head is the effect and the bones are causes, right? The next one is a scatter diagram, which is the regression. So you can see graphical component of regression analysis. Now, 5 why technique of root cause analysis, basically to understand why, ideally 5 times, causes and effect to identify the sources of the symptom. Okay. Now, did you remember I mentioned Kaizen quality improvement approach, right? The focus on small, gradual, frequent improvement over long term with a minimum financial investment, participation by everyone in organization. So Kaizen is quality improvement. I think if you watch the video presentation by Honda, Kaizen, they mention about plan, do, check, and action, right? Okay, so that is, thank you for listening, everyone. So I'm more than happy to take some questions and feedback, comments. And then of course, we do have a Q&A session. And now I hand over to moderator. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima
Waalaikumsalam
kasih.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you, Prof. Ferigi, for the lecture. That's so interesting. Now we come to the next session. This question, I invite 2 or 3 questions from student here. Those who want to ask question to Prof. Ferigi can raise hand. I will call your name and you can unmute your microphone, or you can write your question in chat box.
Okay, please ask questions.
Okay,
Everyone,
Mariska.
you can speak in Bahasa. Yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
can understand in Bahasa.
Okay, Mariska Maulani from MNJ.
Hello, my name is Mariska Maulani from class management 23B. The question is, in the context of total quality management, how can organization foster a culture of continuous, and what are some practical to ensure sustained quality and commitment across all aspects to the business? That's all my question. Thank you.
Right. Very good question. So the main context, the question is about total quality management. So if you look at the definition of total quality management, is the total involvement of the people in organization. They work together, how they need to improve the quality, how they improve continuously the process. So A lot of research actually mention about culture in organization. If you have, we talk about budaya perusahaan, we talk about culture organization. In the process, whatever in the division in your organization, we need to understand. Can everybody, if you are not talking, just mute it and let me talk? So otherwise, everybody cannot hear what is about. Okay, go back to the context of the total quality management principles. If you look at the total quality management principle, is a total involvement. And number two is we talk about leadership, because one of the second principle under ISO 9000, they want to get the certification ISO 9000. They completely doing well in terms of TQM, right? Total quality management, TQM. First element is the leadership and total involvement. And second in thing is a process focus. And the third is we talk about cultural diversity, etc. in organization. Look, the stakeholder, internal or stakeholder or external stakeholder, they work together. Any problem in the organization in terms of product quality, in terms of service quality issues, or customer complaint, if you work in the hotel industry because customer dissatisfied because the service you deliver, look, you work together how to solve the problem. When I just presented before, in the quality control tool, you can make a cause and effect diagram. You can create, for example, fishbone diagram. So the problem is customer dissatisfaction. What causes customer not happy? Or maybe customer not happy because the waiting time and because the reservation not doing good when the customer reserve the hotel room, or maybe customers you know become upset because the facility, because cleanliness, etc. Those are causes, right? Make the customer so you can draw the fishbone diagram, you can draw cause and effect. When I was doing engineering undergrad, TQM. Okay, so hopefully answer your question. So any second questions?
The next question from Bayu Putra Pratama. Please turn on your microphone, Bayu.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. And my name is Bayu Putra Pratama, and I am the class 23 management. My question is, cause and effect diagram are more often used when analyzing a company using the Sigma method in more detail rather than the Pareto method. Thank you.
Sorry, I can't understand. Can you repeat again because it's breaking up? Now, I got problem with the disconnection, some, unstable internet connection. So unfortunately, I have to turn off my video camera. So in order to answer your question, can you repeat again, please, your question?
Yes.
Question is, cause and effect diagram are more often used when analyzing a company using the Six Sigma method in more detail rather than the Pareto method.
Is that the last word you mentioned, Pareto method? Yes.
Is in more detail rather than the Pareto method.
Okay, so the short answer, yes or no. Typically for cause and effect diagram or Pareto, they can be used any different kind of purposes for quality management in organization. So cause and effect diagram is suitable for the chart when you got problem and you need to identify what causes that problem, right? Six Sigma, not necessarily you got problem because the product is error, right? Because Six Sigma means like if you produce 1,000,000, you got only six. It's nothing, right? Six over 1,000,000 product. Well, if we can try to make it zero, right? It is very hard, but if you found six out of 1,000,000, this is what we call Six Sigma, right? So Six Sigma, you can use cause and effect diagram. You need to find what makes six errors for product. You produce 1,000,000, 1,000,000 product, or maybe because the machine, because maybe the second problem because the electricity is shutting down. You know, um, it's just not all the time, right? Without power, without electricity. Or maybe the third problem because you change the supplier and the new supplier does not provide good material to your business. And then you change again your supplier, then you got the new model for the raw material. So it's very hard to control to check the raw material is a good quality or not, right? So you can use cause and effect diagram. Now, on the other hand, when you mention about Pareto diagram is a different purpose compared to cause and effect diagram. Pareto diagram can determine if you got so many bars. Pareto only can find the highest frequency. That is the first priority you need to deal with. For example, the first priority with the highest frequency, 100, right? So 100 complaint in each day. For example, few weeks ago in Australia, in Indonesia, you got Telkomsel, right? In Australia, we got Yes Optus. Yes Optus got outtakes for 12 hours, right? And customer complaint more than 9 million users uses Yes Optus in Australia. Customer complaint. So if you look at the 9 million people complain, that you can use the Pareto, that is the first priority. You have to solve the problem immediately. So Pareto diagram is the main purpose is to determine the priority, direction or task, how you solve that problem. Okay, that is a Pareto diagram. Okay, right. Any questions? Maybe one more.
Okay, thank you, sir. The last question from David Matthews.
Yeah.
From accounting class. Why does Six Sigma need to be applied in managing the quality of product or service provided by the company?
Six Sigma can be done in any sectors, right? Product, services for financial institution, insuring, banking, hotel, etc. So Six Sigma is not new. Six Sigma is a years already. We got Black Six Sigma, Black Belt, Green Belt Six Sigma, different kind of level Six Sigma, right? So Six Sigma is, if you look at DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improvement, and control. Very good thesis for your bachelor thesis if you want to implement Six Sigma in Indonesia, right? For small medium enterprises, for manufacturing, for non-for-profit organization, for any sector, you can use Six Sigma. Yes, Fabian?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I can see there are three person want to ask questions. So I'm so sorry. I need to
Okay.
return back, Fabian. I know
Okay.
the student really want to be in touch with me. You are so good, right? Because the time,
Yeah.
I have another agenda. So I'm more than happy taking more questions later on. but because agenda is so tight, because still keep sending me the invitation to join the next event, right? So once again, thank you for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, you are amazing student. So what I suggest to you, final tips, please work hard, work smart, become great student, become great generation to develop Indonesian nation, right? And to make a difference for this world. Okay. So
Maybe
can I
we can.
please say all the best to you? Thank you so much for having me in this lovely webinar, and have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. And then, okay.
Okay. Before we close the session, let's take our picture together. Please turn on your video, everyone. Okay, I'll start for the first point. One, two, three.
Sabar.
Okay. Second page. One, two, three. Okay. Third page. One, two, three. And the last page. One, two, three. Okay, we have come to end this lecture. Thank you so much from Prof. Ferigi, PhD, for sharing your knowledge in this topic to our student. We believe that our students have gained more insight to knowledge about the topic. I close the session. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mister.
Thank you, Mister.
Thank you, Mister. Ya.
Nilai kamu sama nilai kamu di sini sama nilai kamu di sana. Nur, udah jam 9, Nur.